say "ka" and "wow." I do not say "butter." I would not say it for anything, because I'm not a Southerner. And the R's I do use are different from what one would hear in the Midwest. So I went to NYU for my PhD degree. The students I met there could never place me. I seemed to have something soft in my voice that reminded them of Southerners. Yet I was not Southern. They could tell that. I did not have the knife-like quality and nasal inflections that they had observed of speakers from the Midwest. It never occurred to them that I might be from Kentucky. And when I finally got around to saying to them, well, I'm an Appalachian person, a southern mountaineer. You've heard of the hillbillies, haven't you? I'm one. Then, of course, they were usually amazed. Of the South, that is, southern Appalachian people, because they differ somewhat from the northern Appalachian people. They live in the highlands of the South, which means, of course, that they share portions of Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, southern Ohio, and almost all of West Virginia. There are probably about 19 million people living in this region. Up to 94% of these people are descended from pioneers on the border ready to charge into the mountains at the time of the American Revolution. The largest component, subnational component, I think, in the population of Appalachia is the Scotch-Irish contribution. The culture of southern Appalachia was determined largely by the presence of the Scotch-Irish. The Germans surrendered their language. The few English people scattered among us came from different sections of England and had no homogeneity. So in time, they were speaking like their Scotch-Irish neighbors. So that the speech patterns and the rhetorical tricks, the facial expression, the pause, the inflections, all of these things in Appalachian speech are a heritage of Scotch-Irish influence.
Williams is known as the father of Appalachian studies. He grew up in the mountains here and likes to keep in touch with what he calls his hillbilly roots.
The things that differentiate this noble kind of a dialect in a way, though it's often laughed at, are these characteristics, I think. No one says hair the way we do. We say her. Similarly, we say bar, far, mar, thar. But we'll insert R's in words. Alt is ort. And we readily tell you what you ought to do. Water is water. We send our representatives up to Washington. And we wash our faces in water. If we're pious people. A woman is a woman, and she cooks her breakfast. Then we move ours over. So an apron is an apron. Apron is an apron. 100 is 100. Old-time people out in the mountains, when quizzed about their ancestry, will say, well, you see, we was Irish. That means Scotch-Irish. The first comers didn't call themselves Scotch-Irish. They had come from Northern Ireland, and they were using the old-fashioned pronunciation, which a few of us continue to use, and they called themselves Irish. They said was, which was, and still is, in Appalachian dialect, both singular and plural, were is subjunctive. We was Irish, you see. And then you go on to say, they was three brothers. That's folklore. You can begin to doubt at that point.
the factual accuracy of what he's about to say. Because all of them will tell you that they was 3 brothers. Now, when I was coming to school, a 100% Appalachian boy, speaking the old dialect that the teachers wrung out of me after I got away at school, I said they was 2. Nobody ever bothered to tell me what that meant. I thought it was an illiterate use of the word they, T-H-E-Y. 'Tain't so at all. That has no relation whatever with they. That is the old Northern English dialect word found in the old manuscripts as T-H-A or T-H-E with a stress over it. And it meant, would you believe it, there, T-H-E-R-E, which is exactly what we continue to say. And then we say, law, I don't know. Do you know what that law means? That is the Appalachian dialectical form of what you read in the Bible as L-O. Lo, there she stands. Lo, ain't she pretty? You see? Same word. We also continue to use the Middle English before ing words. That was done in Chaucer's time. And not that only, but we have refused consistently from the beginning to use a final G. You can't say that we leave it off. We just never did put it on. And that makes for music and melody in our speech. The old hard-shell Baptist preacher who was not permitted to prepare a sermon, but who felt around a little bit for something that would stimulate him and maybe bring the spirit down, might begin with something like, this morning, brethren and sistren. Because it's brethren, he thought it ought to be sistren too. Brethren and sistren, while I was on my way over here to worship with you good people, I was a-riding along thinking about what I might be a-saying to you. When I looked over in the bushes, see the man coming up the hill, something under his arm, it looked like a rooster off. Okay, now, while I was a-riding along and thinking about what I might be a-saying to you, is beautiful speech. One cannot find anything more beautiful than that. While I was riding along, thinking about what I might be saying to you. It just floats along as if it were riding on oil. It's like a bird flying so easily in the stillness of the late afternoon.